If you want to have good first impressions, think about eye contact, because that builds trust and it builds connection and respect.
Our shift to online in the last couple of years, we've probably noticed that people's impressions online, sometimes good, but a lot of the times people go missing. They go missing in action. Where are they? They don't tend to show up. Quite often, their screens are turned off, mutes on, and they're hiding in the screen. But the first impression online is no different to the first impression when you're in person. And I'm sure as soon as you walked into 1880 tonight and you watched different people, whether it was with our group or ourselves, you were forming first impressions. And there's no better person to talk to you about now executive first impressions than Faireeq Hashim. Faireeq, big round of applause.
Good afternoon, good evening everybody. And I'm going to be talking about first impressions. So, how fast do you think it takes for someone to form a first impression? Anyone guess?
2 seconds.
Yeah, between 2 to 5 seconds. 2 to 5 seconds. First impressions are really important because it's the visual cues that your listener uses to shape you up, to see who you are in those 2 to 5 seconds. So we're all in this room, we're all in this venue, and unconsciously or consciously, we've already made our first impressions of each and every one of us. So this is why it's important to have absolutely excellent first impressions. I want to ask you, what is it that you see as a first impression when you meet people? Think about it. Or let's flip the question around and ask, what do you think people see in you before you've even started speaking? What first impressions are you projecting? So there are 3 areas that we're going to go into tonight. And they are your appearance, which I think is quite an obvious thing, your behavior, and your executive presence. So let's talk about appearance. Professional attire, absolutely. When you're in a corporate scene, wearing your professional attire will absolutely add to your first impression. It shows that you've come, you're ready, and you're prepared. And it also reflects on who you are and what you represent. Authenticity. Learning to be your authentic self. Authenticity happens when your words, your actions, and your behavior match consistently with your core identity. Think about it. You can't be authentic if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in your abilities and your skills. You're going to look stressed and nervous. That's not you. And people can sense fakeness a mile away now. So authenticity is a great first impression to exude. Online, yeah, well, we've had to work a lot online now these past 2 years. And think about your lighting. When you're on the screen, do we see your face? Because as humans, we connect with the face, facial expressions. If you're going to be sitting in the dark or the shadows, is that going to build trust? No. We're going to say, why is he so dark? Why is the lighting? It's not going to work. So you want to show your face. You want to be well lit so we can see your eyes and your facial expressions. Then we have also behavior, the second section. Unhurried. Have you noticed that highly credible people speak slowly? They speak with a deliberate and controlled pace. It's really skillful. And they use fewer words. And the words they use are chosen carefully. Because you're all leaders in your own field. And leaders are unhurried. Leaders are not rushed. They make sure that they don't feel, they don't sound, or they don't look rushed. So keep your pace slow and consistent. That will bring up your credibility and your presence. Posture. There's so many times when we've been introduced to people and they're slouching or they're leaning. Having good posture will absolutely add on to your first impression. There was a research study done that successful people, one of the characteristics that they had was they had good posture. It exudes confidence. So make sure that you're standing straight when you're introducing yourself and you're speaking. Eye contact. Well, we've all heard the saying, your eyes are the windows of your soul. So when speaking, give eye contact. Have you had situations when somebody's introduced themselves to you and they're looking away? Hi, how are you? Yeah, fine. And you're thinking, I'm here, you know. So if you want to have good first impressions, think about eye contact, because that builds trust and it builds connection and respect. Smile. A smile goes a long way. Smiling is an international language. It means the same in every language. It makes you look friendly and approachable. And not only that, it lets out a whole cascade of positive emotions that will make you feel good. And it will make your listener feel good too and relaxed. But it's not just about relaxing, it's also changing the dynamics and the energy that you're going to present and express. You're going to be feeling and expressing warmth and connection. And your voice. Your voice is one of the most powerful ways to give and deliver a first impression, a strong first impression. Don't be timid, don't be shy, and speak softly. And you're like, excuse me, what did you say? And if you want to sound credible, if you want to sound serious and credible, your pitch has to be a bit lower. If you want to sound likable and approachable, raise that pitch in your voice. And you can record yourself and you can hear the difference. And we have executive presence. Appearance we've just done recently, earlier, and we have communication. Clarity. Make sure you're concise with your words. If you pronounce your words clearly and correctly, that's going to be a great first impression, especially when English could be your second language, or you could have a heavy accent. And what you want is when you meet people and you're delivering a message, you want them to capture and remember that message, that important fact, so that they can repeat it later, so that even a 12-year-old can articulate it back to you. So always remember to speak clearly and correctly. Then we have gravitas. When you want to know how to be able to lead and to know that people want to follow you, they're willing to follow you. People with strong presence, they're able to control their emotions and they're able to sense the emotions of other people around them. That's gravitas. They can inspire. They can instill people with confidence and motivation. So when gravitas is exuded in your personality, you will have that energy with your leadership skills, wanting to serve, and creating that safe space for the people around you to show you the respect and the admiration and the willing to work with you. Gravitas. So I want to ask you, what are the things that we've just spoken about that you think you might want to improve as your first impression? We all have them. So just remember that when you meet people and when you introduce yourself, first impressions are really important because it sets you up from the beginning to the outcome that you want.